All right, let's talk some of these Week 7 featured games, the Sky TV games. Why don't we start in Los Angeles, where the Rams host the Arizona Cardinals. Rams, a 3.5-point favorite at Betsafe, 47.5 the total in this one. Rams have been one of the real surprise teams in the NFL this season. They are 4-2, and they've been doing it with offense. They're averaging over 37 points per game in their 4 victories. But you know what? They have faced a lot of bad defenses this year. Actually, they've only faced 3 teams that currently rank in the top half of the NFL in total defense. So those three teams, Washington, Seattle, and Jacksonville. The Rams lost 2 of those games, and in last week's win over the Jaguars, they gained only 249 total yards of offense. So I'm not quite sure if this Rams offense is as good as some believe it is right now. We'll find out a lot this week because the Cardinals are good defensively, especially against the run. They're surrendering only 3.3 yards per carry, so it will be tough sledding for Todd Gurley in this game. And of course, Arizona does have playmakers in that secondary as well, including Patrick Peterson, who's probably the best cornerback in the NFL at this point. And on the other side of the ball, the Cardinals might have really found some gold with that trade for Adrian Peterson last week. I mean, they hadn't been able to run the ball at all this season. They acquired Peterson from New Orleans, stuck him right in the starting lineup last week. He produced 134 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns in that win over Tampa Bay. He balances out an offense that's already pretty good through the air. The Cardinals second in the NFL in passing offense, facing a Rams defense here that's been very vulnerable this season. LA 24th in the league in yards allowed. So look, I know the Rams are a slight favorite here. They're a 3.5-point favorite at Betsafe, but I think the Cardinals with a good chance to pull the upset. I'm going to go ahead and take those points though. I recommend Arizona on the handicap, plus 3.5. Moving on now to New York, where the Giants host the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle, a 5.5-point favorite at Betsafe, 40.5 the total in this one. Giants won their first game of the season last week. I mean, they were 0-5. Everybody had finally given up on this team. They were 11.5-point underdogs in Denver. Lo and behold, they ended up winning 23-10. They will be getting receiver Sterling Shepard back this week, so they're getting a little bit healthier on offense. Still, though, you look at the numbers, this offense has been horrible this season, facing a Seattle defense that is normally very good. Now, the Seahawks statistically haven't been as good as normal this season, but they might be starting to pick it up a little bit. They've won 3 of their past 4 games. They've held the opposition to 18 points or fewer in all 3 of those wins. But the Seattle offense, a little bit of a concern. They did score 46 points against the Indianapolis Colts a couple of weeks ago. But aside from that game, you look at their other 4 games, they're averaging just 16 points per game. And as bad as the Giants have been this season, they are fairly good on defense. Well, they're fairly good in the secondary, that is. And they're getting Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie back this week after that 1-game suspension. So I think this is going to be an ugly, low-scoring game. I do expect Seattle to win here, but I don't feel all that comfortable given the 5.5 points on the road. The bet I like here more is under 40.5. We won betting on the under last week in the Giants game. I'm getting right back up on it here. I think the Giants struggle to score, but I think their defense is able to limit the Seahawks offense. So under 40.5, my play in this one. Moving on now to Sunday night in New England, where the Patriots host the Atlanta Falcons. New England, a 4.5-point favorite at Betsafe, 55.5 the total here. This, of course, a rematch of last year's Super Bowl, but neither of these teams looking as good as they looked last season. The Patriots have finally clawed to first place in the AFC East after a closer than expected win over the Jets last week, but their defense is a huge problem. I mean, this New England team, very easy to figure out. They're first in the NFL in total offense, first in pass yards per game as well, averaging 310 pass yards per game. They are last in total defense and last in passing defense by a wide margin. This Patriots secondary so far, historically bad. They are surrendering 325 pass yards per game. They became this season the first defense in NFL history to surrender 300 passing yards in 6 straight games. Every game this season, they've allowed 300 passing yards or more. Last week, it was Josh McCown going for 354 yards against this Patriots defense. So it's a tough matchup here with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and this explosive Atlanta offense. Now, the Falcons hadn't been quite as good on offense this season as they have been the last couple of years. New offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian taking a little bit of heat. But something tells me they're going to break out in a big way soon. And it might just happen in this game. Falcons, of course, won their first 3 games of the season. They've lost their last 2. They've only produced 17 points in each of those games. But hearing Matt Ryan talk this week, he didn't want to hear any of the blame being placed on Steve Sarkisian. He said it was the players not executing. And like I said, hearing him talk, something tells me the Falcons are due for a breakout performance. I think they're going to go up and down the field on this New England defense. But do you have any faith in the Falcons slowing down Tom Brady and this top-ranked New England offense? I sure don't. So look, I know the total is high here, 55.5, but I don't think it's high enough. I think both teams really going to light up the scoreboard in this one. My play is over 55.5. Final game I'd like to talk about in this Week 7, what about the Monday Nighter? The Washington Redskins going on the road to face their division rival, Philadelphia Eagles. Look, the Eagles at 5-1 might be the best team in the NFC right now, but they have a major Achilles heel, and that is their secondary. They just have not been able to slow down opposing passing attacks all season. Philly currently 29th in the NFL in pass defense. Only Indianapolis, Tampa Bay, and New England are allowing more passing yards than this Philadelphia defense. And I'll tell you what, Washington, they can throw the football. Kirk Cousins really spreading it around this season. Right now, 6 Redskins are on pace to average at least 35 receptions. You look at the other side of the ball, the Redskins playing pretty well there as well. Top 10 in the league in total defense right now. They're 8th against the run. Washington 3-2. They're only a game and a half behind Philly in the East. I don't think there's as wide of a gulf between these two teams as some believe. I know Philadelphia won 30-17 back in Week 1, but the Redskins lost 3 fumbles in that game. You're not going to win very often if you lose 3 fumbles. It wouldn't surprise me if the Skins won this one outright, but I am going to take some points. Now, Betsafe offering several different handicap markets on this game. I have settled on Washington plus 3.5 at 215, a little bit better than even money. Think that is good value for the Redskins, plus 3.5. There you have it, folks. Those are my thoughts on Week 7 of this NFL season. I wish you best of luck whatever you decide to do this week, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interests. For Betsafe, I'm John Arnette.